What's up, guys? Sub-Zeric here, back for another VOD review, and if you guys missed it, yesterday was day one of the Tacticians Cup 3. This is really, really important for who's going to go to regionals, who's even going to go to worlds in the Americas region. A few shout-outs before I talk about the people I actually want to talk about today is that LAS did very, very well. You can see in the top 16 there are 5 LAS players. Altano Fue, Tech Summers doing the best, but, Fritz, and Kiki and Michael also doing well. Also Babzera from Brazil, but NA still on top. 1, 2, 3. Marcel P, TL Rereplay, and Jason Lin as our top 3. Today, we're going to watch Rereplay because he's the world champion. I would have loved to watch, actually, Marcel P, but he did not stream yesterday, and Rereplay did stream it, so we are going to watch his POV. Also, we are on 2x speed, right? No, we're not. Okay, let's crank up the 2x speed. But yeah, I mean, Replay, the world champion himself, playing in this tourney. I feel like, we have to watch him and see. He went 3 firsts at the end of his day. He had a pretty okay scores, and then boom, 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 1-1-1 to finish out his day to go second overall. So really, really cool. Oh, and to say, Marcel P, I just want to note, because it's a fun bit of trivia actually. Malphite, Yasuo, Teemo, Ashe, Azir. This one's a little bit hard to play, maybe with Ashe boards. You can play something like Ashe, Azir, Malphite, but it's a little difficult to play. And we will be continuing our habit of pausing more because you guys seem to like that, and I really enjoy doing that. I'm down to pick up these 2 boards here and build them for now. Yeah, I think this is perfect. And then you do have an opportunity to make 10 gold here, right? You could make 10 if you want to. I tend to not like making 10 in spots like this, but you certainly could, right? You could just go sell, 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 hold on to the Janna even. I tend to like to hold units here, but we'll see what Mr. Replay wants to do here. Yeah, he is going to hold units. I think holding units allows you to actually get to a real board. You can always make 10 this round with all the gold that you're going to be getting in the Scuttle Puddle, and so that's what I tend to like. But yeah, Marcel P, actually, interesting history. He was rank 1 Clash Royale, the mobile game. I actually did a sponsorship for them way back in the day. So kind of crazy to see him. He's a TFT player now. What do we want to sell here to make 10 gold? Certainly we want to hold on to these pairs, right? But what of these units do we want to sell? I'm really hesitant to sell a Janna, but with this opener, I feel like we have to play some sort of AD setup. So I would probably end up just selling Janna plus Rexa here and holding on to this Fortune setup. Imagine if we get Fortune +1, we can easily play a Fortune game from here, Gargoyle IE as our slam, or if we end up just getting Fortune off Carousel here. So I think my opinion of the play is sell Janna here, because there's no way we're actually going to play Janna here. Looks like, yeah, he is looking at selling the Fortune units, which I don't really agree with. But maybe he values, yeah, it looks like he values the Rexa. Yeah, he doesn't value the Janna. I like this as well, actually, a lot. I didn't call this out, but yeah, holding onto the Kha'Zix is huge here for the potential of getting something like Reaper Crest. So very, very smart from a replay, actually, to hold onto the Kha'Zix there. Yeah, I like selling the Janna a lot, and this, we're never taking Enter the Dragon here, so there's no need to hold Janna. I do like Reaper Crest a lot as an augment, especially with the Kha'Zix, especially with these items, right? We have Edge of Night open here, or BT. I like BT better as an early slam, but I like Edge of Night more as an item, so I would probably just make that, because you can go at, Edge of Night Dodge. But we'll see. Combat-Caster, of course, fantastic. Just generic augment, but I think I would go Reroll Enter, Reroll Combat, and then default to Reaper Crest here, and we'll see if that's what Mr. Replay wants to do in this position. Yeah, that is certainly what we're going to do here. All right, now that we picked this, what should our board be? You can play a very common board of, Kha'Zix, Kha'Zix, Malphite, Kindred, and get the Heavenly in, get the Kindred in. You can even level and just play this Garen. You could also play Garen plus the Jax, and then you just have to cut one of those units. So, I guess you don't really need to play Kindred because you have Reaper in. So maybe it's Garen 2 plus Jax plus Kha'Zix plus Malphite, and then you just Reaper Crest Garen. It's kind of hilarious. I don't really care for any of these backline units played. I guess you could Reaper Crest someone like Ari, but it's a little bit hard to fit. There's also the Darius, right? You can Reaper Crest Darius is probably your best bet, but he's not 2 stars, so we're kind of putting him on the board. I think that's what I would end up going with: Garen, Jax, Kha'Zix, and Malphite here, and then just Reaper Crest the Garen, and we'll get there to a slightly stronger board at some point. But we'll see. We'll see what our board ends up being. He's looking at, yeah. Oh, he's going to play. Well, you kind of have to play Kha'Zix if you want to get Heavenly in here. I feel like that is the play here. Replay's still trying to figure out his board. Obviously I paused for it, but I mean, it could be. We'll see what he ends up playing next round if he actually thinks this is strongest, or if this was just an oversight. But I feel like getting Heavenly in is better than just playing the Kindred. I don't think Kindred is that much better than Kha'Zix that you would opt to play him. Okay, now that we have Darius too, you also have to kind of consider what you want to play here, because I feel like Darius would hold on to this Reaper cut really, really well. So you also have the opportunity to make gold, right? I kind of like, after losing that last fight, sell, make 20, just play Darius Kha'Zix. Yeah, just play like exactly this word, and then just make 20 here. And then you can throw all of these items onto Darius here. I love this. I think this makes perfect sense. He's looking at potentially getting that in. I don't think, like, Malphite is playable, but I don't think a lot of the other stuff is playable. So yeah, you get to make 20 gold here. We still get to play on the Darius, which is pretty nice. Obviously, the dream is we pick up, like, Kiana here, and then we can actually, like, start rocking and rolling with this board. But making 20 feels really, really good. I love this from Rereplay. And so now we just have to worry about, like, are we getting anything interesting in our next few shots? Do we want to play, like, say, Soraka over this Kindred? I don't know that I actually do. It is another level of Heavenly. It is AP as well onto our Heavenly units, which is kind of nice. You could also even opt to make gold here, but I kind of like holding all these units. I don't really want to sell the Darius too. I don't really want to sell the Kindred here. I don't really want to sell both Kha'Zix and Malphite here. So I think I wouldn't make gold here, and I think I would just play this board. Maybe you can get, maybe it's Soraka over Kindred, but I think I would just play this board, and I don't care that much about the Soraka here. Oh, important fact that somebody mentioned on the co-stream yesterday that I did not know this because I've been out of the loop, and I basically have just played the game. I hadn't heard anyone say this secret tech. There's a bug in the game currently where if you put a Reaper in and then take it out, your Reaper units, I believe just your Reaper units, still get the ability for their spells to crit, even if you don't have Reaper in. It's a minor thing. Obviously here it wasn't a factor because we've been playing Reaper the entire time, but you can kind of like toggle Reaper for your Reapers if you're not playing it. What do we have open here component-wise? We have Cloak, and I forget what the other one was. We have Cloak and Glove open, right? I think we would absolutely like to take Hodge here in this position, but it gets pointed immediately. So then what do you take here? I would probably just take a BT. I would say it's a 1-cost BT. It's good enough. You could maybe see the idea of just taking an Even Shroud here. It's on a 3-cost as well. Yeah, I think I would just not greed and I would take BT here, but I'm interested in seeing what Rereplay wants. Yeah, he's certainly thinking about I mean, and now at this point you kind of have to take BT. I feel like your only other out was Even Shroud. So yeah. Oh, I didn't shout it out, but I co-streamed yesterday. I'm gonna be co-streaming today. Link in the description as well for this tourney. So yeah, if you want to watch me and Kai and a bunch of other really cool people yap about TFT, then go check it out. Yeah, I like this play here as well. I want to guarantee that we can make 30 gold here. So you certainly should do this. I think this is correct. And then you can make BT if the fight looks like you're... Well, I mean, I guess we're always winning this fight. Kind of sad because we're going to be 3 losses and 2 a win here. Smart by Rereplay to not sell immediately. I mean, Malphite Yasuo, Teemo actually could theoretically come in here. Temporary item. I mean, we're 3-item Darius here, so this is pretty bad for us. You should take the Warmogs, I would think, and just juice up your front line a little bit. A little bit sad, though. Yeah, I mean, you make the Kha'Zix too for sure. The question is, do you make 40 gold here, or do you try to play a slightly stronger board, hold onto Malphite pair here? Because you can play Soraka, hold Malphite here. You spend like a gold for Scuttle Puddle. I think I would do that. I think I would just play Soraka, hold the Malphite pair here, and not make 40. It's only making 40 gold. We're always going to be making 50 by the time Krugs is over because we're in Scuttle Puddle. So I think this is fine to just do this and not make 40 gold here. Because losing Malphite pair is also like pretty bad for our early game. It's not like we're going to play it late game. We're probably going to play around more of the like 4 Reaper, 4 Bruiser type version of this board, which is exploded in popularity recently. But I do think it's good just for the early game. Imagine if we get a Malphite too early, so much better. Speaking of early game, our early game has been pretty garbage. 78 HP this far into the game is pretty bad. Here, there's a reward. It is the Malphite too. You could consider cutting the Soraka for like something else, yeah, like this, when you're playing against the minion round, just because you want the opportunity to potentially sell and make gold. But yeah, I mean, we're still looking for that Yasuo to potentially get exalted in here. I certainly imagine that we're gonna make gold here. Just saw the Zoe, right? That was kind of close. Okay, but it's fine. And we certainly have to get this Yorick in here. Yeah, I think the level up makes perfect sense. We can still make gold here. I mean, I would look at making 50 here for sure. And we got dropped a Hodge, which is fantastic. The only problem is who holds the Hodge. Because our items can end up just being Edge of Night PT Hodge, but who holds Hodge? I guess it's Tristana for now, right? I don't really want to put it on the Kha'Zix because I'm gonna have to move items later. I don't really want to put it on the Kindred. I guess maybe you could have the idea that you're gonna sell Kindred later and you could throw it onto Kindred. Maybe that's correct. Yeah, I could see that. Just Hodge Kindred because we can only play 4 Reapers. We're probably just playing Kha'Zix and the 3 cost and the 4 cost one. Augment here. Okay. There's a lot of good stuff here. You have my sword's not even bad. Sterax plus Hodge, but we kind of have too many items already, so I don't really want more. So I don't think it's that. And then it's between Martyr and Stationary Support. I tend to really like Stationary Support in comps like these, but I think I would certainly do a stats check in this moment, especially because this is a comp that I'm just not that familiar with. So go here, go to Augments. We're going to look up Stationary, and we're going to look up Martyr. And the stats say they're about the same. Stationary, a hair better than Martyr. Okay, so, I mean, with that knowledge, I would probably just take Stationary. It was already what I was kind of leaning towards, and it's slightly better in the stats. We do have Edge of Night, which I feel like bumps Martyr up a little bit because it guarantees our carries never getting at one shot, so maybe that. But, I mean, the stats say Stationary is a hair better. My brain says it's a hair better. Keepers now in the mix. Let's check Keepers as well, because I'm sure that's fantastic. 3.92. Stats say Keepers is best. I'm down to take Keepers. This Augment is just so overstated in comps like these. So yeah, I think it's an easy Keepers. Wrath the Moon, not too amazing in this comp here. We pick up a Yone, so we can finally play for Reaper. And yeah, you can just cut the Yorick really easily for that. So this just ends up being our board. I would probably play Volley over... Would I play Volley over Trist? I think I would, yeah. The difference is, like, Trist is more damage, Volley is more, sort of, like, support, tankiness. But, like, our Reapers are going to be the one doing all of the meaningful damage here. So I think I would just play Volley over the Trist here. And yeah, this also allows us to make the Hodge. We now have a unit that we can slam it on, which is really nice. We can just slam this onto Yone. The only thing that's going to be a little bit awkward is that, you know, I think BT Edge of Night are going to be arcane items. And now this Hodge is stuck on Yone, so we have to look for a third Kayn item. But once again, we have this belt open. It could just be like a Sterax. It seems perfectly fine onto Kayn. And finally, we're going to start building out our board, actually. It looks like we're looking at maybe fitting Exalted somehow, or maybe he just wants to keep Malphite on the... Yeah. I mean, looks like... I mean, certainly we're not fitting Exalted. I'm not really sure why Malphite is sitting on this board, just as a cheerleader, I guess. But, I mean, yeah, okay. I mean, Heavenly is not bad. I guess in Replay's, in his mind, maybe Malphite is the best possible thing you can play, similar to on, like, Duelist boards, where, like, you just want to be able to fit a random, Heavenly, because there's, like, not much else to add at that point. I mean, certainly seems possible. And, hey, with the Keepers now, our board is quite strong. We do end up fighting a double Adaptocone a Loon too, which is really hard to get through. And we're really just hoping that there's a good unit on Carousel. There's not really, so we're just going to go for the Sterax, I must imagine, onto the Tristana here. Replay looked like he was hovering over it. The only thing to consider, actually, is we still don't have, like, an Even Shroud type thing on this board. And so, like, we are going for the Sterax here, but it's a little scary. I think that we might never get Armor Shred this game, but it looks like Replay doesn't prio Armor Shred that highly in this comp. He's not too obsessed with getting it here, and I imagine, I mean, perhaps he's not going to make Sterax here, but I think if we were not going to make Sterax here, we wouldn't have taken this. Yeah, so we do just make Sterax here. I think perfectly fine, but a little bit weird. Maybe he doesn't think that Armor Shred is that big of a deal on this board, but that would surprise me a bit. I mean, I'm sure Last Whisper is better in this comp just because Kayn spreads it so well, and because you don't really have a tank to hold on to the Even Shroud in this comp. That, I mean, I guess you can throw it on Galio. The problem is, like, all of your guys are, like, dashing to the back line. But I mean, I guess Galio is a fantastic tank to hold on to Even Shroud. So I don't know. I once again, I haven't looked too much at the items in this comp. I mean, here I can pull it up. Even Shroud here. Yeah, the stats on Even Shroud look really nice in this comp. So it's an interesting idea of maybe we could have gone for Even Shroud there. I mean, it certainly seems like he wants to get 3 items on both of his carries. And I mean, I can also look up Sterax and see. I mean, it's certainly worse than Even Shroud in the stats. So yeah, I didn't pull it up on it, but just trust me. The stats that I was looking at say that Even Shroud is a better item than Sterax, just generically in the comp. But you know, obviously there's a lot of different factors that go into play here. But yeah, I mean, overall our spot looks pretty good. The only downside to our spot is the HP. We're a little bit low. We get a 3 cost and a 5 cost duplicator here, which is fantastic in this comp because this is going to allow us to actually hit everything. Question, do you level and roll here? We have about 40 gold to roll here. We don't really have that. We've hit a decent amount of the stuff already. Really just need to pick up like one Kayn and spikes our board immensely. We also do get dropped the full Even Shroud and even just QSS, which seems fantastic. So now we get to make that. So yeah, QSS Even Shroud I think must be the slams. It looks like we are going to opt to just sack one here. Wait to see Augment. We have so much gold, but I think it looked like there was one other person who was potentially playing our line. So it looks like Replay is confident enough that we're not going to get too wrecked in this fight, and like our units are going to get taken out of the pool, so we can just... But yeah, I mean, the QSS slam makes perfect sense because of the Even Shroud open. I think we got maybe not bailed out, but I mean, these are certainly high roll items in this position. We got dropped basically perfect items here. And yeah, final Augment coming in here. We just want some kind of solid combat. Can't really be I mean, is it ever... I mean, that other person had a bunch of Yones, right? So I don't think we can even go for Yone 3, but is it ever heroic grabback here if that person isn't holding Yones? I think it could be. 3 duplicators means it's actually really easy to get to Yone 3, but I think with that person holding Yones, it's very difficult. Is this a comp that really takes advantage of Freezer Crowd? I mean, not really. You're playing Yone, and that's about it, right? You can't even play like a 3-cost Cruiser. Yeah, so that seems terrible. You could... I mean, Reinforcement seems fine in this comp. You have a lot of 4-costs that you can hit. It's just a little bit scary in a setup like this where there's so many other people who are going to have insane econ because we're in Scuttle Puddle, but I think this has to be the take. I don't think Dynamic Go does anything. I don't think both is not bad, but I don't think it really does that much, especially when we already have a bunch of extra HP for keepers. We need upgrades here. So yeah, I think the roll down makes perfect sense. We're considering taking the... Okay, we do take the Galio here, because that was my second question, is do you take the Galio in this situation? I think this is quite reasonable to take Galio here. You can skip over and try to dig for the Kayn, but in many ways, a Galio 2 is a Kayn 2. Okay, that's like kind of an asinine thing to say, but hear me out. Galio 2 is going to buy more time for the Kayn 2, and Kayn 1, and Kayn 1 is going to do a lot of damage on his own. So Galio taunting will actually like make our Kayn stronger. So I actually think this is pretty reasonable. Rolling down really just to pick up one Kayn at this point. Wukong is a big hit here. 0 Kayns on this roll down. A lot of Yones though is pretty nice. But yeah, rolled it to 10 here. No Kayns is really, really rough. We have to keep our items still on this Darius here, which feels quite bad. We really want to get him out and try to find a Kayn here. So yeah, I mean, we basically have to roll to 10 every round. We win this fight, which is big, and we do have 6 Yones plus the dupe, plus 2 dupes really. So we'll probably end up using this dupe on like a Kayn too. So things could be worse, and now things are a lot better. Okay, that's the shop that we're looking for here. We're gonna get into this 3 bruiser setup. We don't actually have the 4th bruiser here because we just didn't buy it. I don't know if we even had the opportunity to buy it, actually. We are going to opt to actually play this version, which is a kind of interesting setup where, like, Morgana fits very well into this board, especially with the Wukong, so we're just going to play around this. I believe I was listening to people on the co-stream talk yesterday. I haven't actually looked at the stats myself, but I heard that the stats actually on, like, 3 Bruiser look pretty good, just because it means you found better units to play. And, like, this board looks pretty good, right? The Morgana plus Wukong is probably better than Bruiser plus any other single unit. So I could certainly see this actually being just strongest board here, and this is just the board. And maybe later down the line we, like, level up for a Bruiser, but, like, probably not. We probably level up for something else. Item-wise here, we are all out of items. I assume you just take the Wukong with Glove here because it's Wukong and it's half Hodge. So, yeah, I mean, half Hodge, USS if you have to take it, but I think Hodge would be the best possible option for Kayn here. And I assume we continue to roll. There's so many things left to roll for. It ends up... Okay, so we have to actually get Malphite in here as another Heavenly unit. You lose, obviously, like, another Ghostly proc, but yeah, I mean, maybe this is just the board. You play the Malphite for 3 Heavenly here. I think it makes perfect sense. I like this, and yeah, just 2 Bruiser at this point. Gonna continue to roll here, really just trying to dig for that Kayn 2 and that Yone 3. 1 Kayn gets us there, 1 Yone gets us there. There's so much. I would even consider selling the Kian and rolling once here, because I don't have that high of an opinion of the Wukong, but it looks like we're more interested in the possibility of finding Wukong here, because like the idea is that you could sell Kiana, and if you randomly find a Kayn, you can just sell Wukong for it, or even sell Morgana for it. But it looks like Replay says, you know, like, I want to hit all my upgrades here, especially because this can be a high cap lobby. Absolutely, I imagine we take the 10 free rerolls here, and we just use this to hit everything here. Hopefully we can find 1 Kayn and 1 Yone in these 10 rolls. There's the Kayn, really, really big. Continue to roll here before using the duplicated. There's the Yone. Continue to roll here just in case we save a dupe. But yep, use both dupes here for sure, right? I don't prioritize Wukong too that highly here. He's not a Reaper. He's not benefiting from all of our augments. So yeah, I mean, our spot now, 31 HP is a little bit low, but it's quite a few lives at this point in the game, and this board should cruise through these boards that we're fighting here. We ended up hitting everything. It was really, really low hitting in the beginning. We missed a lot on that first roll down, but the subsequent roll downs, the encounter helping us out a lot, were really big. The only thing to be scared of is that we're down to combat augment this game, and that we have reinforcement, and everyone else has probably hit their board. They got 10 for rerolls, and we're scuttle puddles, so this should be a very, very high cap lobby. That is the only thing we have here that's kind of scary. All right, I imagine Hodge is the best take you can go for here. The other option would be like a Titans. Actually, a Steadfast Heart is like, I think secretly not that bad, but certainly it's Hodge here, right? But like if this tier was like a Rod, I think I would give Steadfast Heart here, which would be pretty cool. But certainly Hodge is the take here. He's looking at something else. I'm not sure what. Maybe an item on somebody else. Oh, he's looking at potentially moving items using the remover. I'm pretty happy with these items here, as they are, but maybe the idea is that Styrax is slightly better on Kayn, or he's looking at the Hodge. I'm not sure. I think the Hodge, you always spread the Hodges, right? You one Hodge on each guy seems good. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I like this item pattern pretty well. At this point, we are just looking at going level 9 and capping out our board even higher. He's still, he was still looking at Exalted, because I guess theoretically you can level at like a Zir and then add another unit for Exalted, but the question is, what are you cutting? Like, I don't really want to cut Sage Ghostly with the Morgana. I don't really want to cut Heavenly Sage with the Monkey. So I don't think you can actually fit Exalted on this board. Also, ooh, this is a scary fight, but oh my god, that Yone actually just popped off at the end against Koala Espelto. I don't actually know. Did Koala make it to day 2? It's ooh. I mean, certainly you want defense here. I think this is Sunfire components. So then you have to make Bramble here. There is Glove Sword, I believe, and this is Tier Rod, I believe. Oh, I guess actually it's magic, and you go like you get like Vow on Galio, Vow or like Crown Guard. I think Vow or Crown Guard is gonna be better than Bramble here onto the. Oh, I guess. I mean, Sunfire does exist as an option, but I don't think you actually care that much for this. Oh, okay, so we're gonna Vow. We're gonna Crown Guard onto our Silas here. Yeah, actually, I could see this. I was kind of the opinion that we already had enough damage, and I'd rather go for some more tankiness. But I mean, he is a Reaper Silas. I didn't really talk about it, but Reaper Silas is the best Reaper holder in the game because he fits well onto this board, and because he's going to use everything very, very well. So yeah, itemizing the Reaper Silas makes sense, and now we can go for another Silas item in the Ionic Spark if we get it. Second Crown Guard's fine. Heavenly Spat's also fine. Okay, just Heavenly Spat here then for sure. And then you probably just throw this onto the Silas here so he gets the extra stats, right? The only other option would be, I don't know, some random Morgana or something. But yeah, I think you have to do this here. Looks good. Our level 9 at this point could even just end up being another Heavenly unit. Also, I love this from Replay. He's really, really open to potentially swapping his positioning to the right side. Or maybe he's just trying to fake it against these other people. But yeah, you do have to be, especially in these late game fights, able to just swap your board to the right side. I know it feels bad to sack the Umbral Hexes, but they're biggest on someone like Yone and Silas, but like even on like on someone like Kayn, it's not the biggest deal. And getting good positioning is the big thing. Is if you can potentially get the Yone to dash into back, like that's a huge part of it. But yeah, looks like we're looking at just leveling up and playing a 5th Heavenly unit here, which I think makes perfect sense. I mean, honestly, thinking about Replay as a player, he's probably never going to swap to the right side, but I do think it is correct in some circumstances to swap to the right side when you need to get to backline. I mean, even a fight like this, we do end up winning, but I mean, getting on to that Janna faster could actually be the diff between winning and losing. We're Scuttle Puddle, not Crab Rave, so we don't have to worry about actually beating this guy. And yeah, he's looking at the Soraka as the final in potentially over the Kiana. I would, in my opinion, I mean, I guess the idea is that one, Soraka is just a better unit, and two, you are sort of like getting more out of the AP onto this guy. Like these guys are getting less stats than the Silas, so you prefer the AP. I could see it. Galio item here is what we want. and there is not really one. I guess you could go Titans. Your other option would be like Edge of Night Wukong, which I guess I would end up going for here. You could also just suck it up and finally take the Morello. With these items being so bad, I probably would just take the Morello here and throw it onto Morgana. Heal cut, because we have Yone, isn't the biggest deal, but I still think it's, important. And then probably just declaw onto Galio. Warmog's is good as well. Depends on the rest of our matchups. But like AP there, AP there, AP there. Yeah, I mean, it's got to be the declaw, right? Yep. So declaw there, very, very easy pickup. We did end up getting the Kiana in. And yeah, just throw this there and then throw that there, and we'll be very, very happy with our setup. The other thing to say is that this comp is very, very strong after the buffs to just every single piece of the comp, to Galio, to Reaper, to Kayn. And so, I mean, we're cruising here. It looks like we might just win out this lobby, even down a combat augment, just because Keepers is so strong, the Reaper +1 is so strong, and hitting a Yone 3 is so strong as well. Yeah, Rereplay not even looking at rolling on 9 here. He's looking at going fast 10, getting another unit in to buff up that Keeper, and potentially, like another Heavenly unit, 6 Heavenly in, would be really, really nice on this late game board. And I mean, look how easy this fight looks. Arcane just walks through the front line, gets to backline. It's absolutely destroying that Azir. And yeah, this fight wasn't even close. And yeah, it's already a top 3. We're sitting on 80 gold, and everybody else is 0 gold. This board, a little scary. But honestly, it's a really, really tough matchup for them. They have strong units in. And the big thing that's in our favor is that we have Edge of Night on one of our carries, and we have QSS on the other carry. So it's going to be really hard for Lux to actually lock down our carries here. Also, this is pretty rough positioning out of this player. They don't really get a good Lux ult off. It's just going through the middle. Looks like it's because we're fighting a clone there, so it's not like they were actually positioning for us, but it looks like they take a loss there. We're looking to put whatever in here. We want Galio or Morgana item. There is a spat as well. I forget what component we have, because we have tier open here, right? So I would probably just go blue buff to get the Morello casting faster. Maybe you could take like dodge or something. I think I would just go blue buff, get the Morello casting faster. It is also on a Rakan, but does Rakan really even do anything on this board? I mean, not really. Yeah, I think you just level here, get 6 Heavenly in, throw the blue buff into the Morgana, get the Morello going. He's thinking for a sec about actually removing and putting the blue buff onto Sylas here, but the problem is any item you remove from Sylas has to go on someone else, and I don't really want to put anything anywhere else. And getting that early Morello cast, I think is really, really nice. So yeah, we do end up on the left side versus this guy, but still, I think, yeah, it's really, really hard for their board to just, for either of these boards actually, to even just get through our units. It's just, you need a million single target damage to actually kill this board, and there is not that much single target on either of the boards that we're fighting. Roll down here, pick up Morgana too. We end up finding the Soraka here, which we are going to get over the Nico, which I think makes sense. And I mean, yeah, this is probably it. Nice quick swap from a replay at the last set. Well, actually, we have QSS onto our carry, so we don't need to swap away from the set. But I mean, hey, it's quick reaction times from the world champ, and it is going to be a dub for him. Really, really cool game from Rereplay. I think he played this out very, very well. It was sketch that 4-2 roll down, but then hitting in the later shots with the rest of our gold and putting together a really, really strong board was really, really great to see. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe. Once again, I will be co-streaming with Kai and friends. Link is in the description down below, starting at 1 p.m. Pacific time. So I'll see you guys there. Thanks for watching.